Is the presentation clear? Clear man. Kita man. So this will be our module 1 for chemistry or intro to chemistry or your general and organic chem. Chemistry touches almost every aspect of our lives, our culture, and our environment. Its scope encompasses the air we breathe, the food we eat, the fluids we drink, and the clothing we wear, the dwellings we live in, and the transportation and fuel supplies we use, as well as our fellow creatures. So, ano ang meaning ng chemistry? Ano siya ginawa kanya? So, chemistry, kids, is the science that describes matter, its properties, the changes it undergoes, and the energy changes that accompany those processes. So, muna siya, kids, ang chemistry. It describes matter. Ay, before we go on, anong matter, kids? Kids, what?
Anything that occupies space, like oxygen.
Yes, anything that occupies space and has mass, that is matter. So, chemistry studies those subjects. Ang matter, ang tanan nga, pwede natin maginhawa, makaptan, mainom, kung ano sulod niya, ano na nga element ng sulod. For example, does your water have oxygen? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Does it have hydrogen? Yes. Paano na nag-amo na? Tungod sa chemical bonding. Ang combination sa imong hydrogen and oxygen forms your water.
Water.
Yes, so that is chemistry. We study those processes, how it undergoes those changes. Is it a chemical or a physical change? What are the energy changes that undergoes when you have your chemical binding? So that is chemistry. So no one can be an expert in all aspects of such a broad science such as chemistry. Therefore, gina-branch out na nila, correct? Again, ang chemistry, tama ka wide. You have different disciplines, you have different studies in chemistry. Therefore, you branch out kung ano ang gina-specialize mo. Sometimes, we arbitrarily divide the study of chemistry into various branches. Carbon is a very versatile in its bonding and behavior and is a key element in many substances that are essential in life. So why are we talking about carbon in our general and organic chemistry diri sa aton kids? All living matters contain compounds with carbon combined with hydrogen and sometimes with few other elements such as oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. So kids, kamang ginstoryanin natin ang carbon because organic chemistry is the study of all such compounds related to carbon. Again, ano gani ang aton the course title for our subject? General and Organic Chemistry. So kids, in organic chemistry, kids, we are studying the compound of carbon. Maghambal naman ko mga kids, in organic chemistry, it is the study of all other compounds but also includes some of the simpler carbon-containing compounds but gamay-gamay lagit nga pwede i-include kung in organic chemistry. But again, if it is studying tanan klase nga carbon, it is organic chemistry. Other compounds not related to carbon, it is therefore inorganic chemistry when we are studying your arsenic nga element or compound. Is it organic or inorganic chemistry? Arsenic. Organic or inorganic, kids? Duwa lang pilian nyo.
Ano galing, sir?
Waton ko ha, ang organic chemistry is the study of all compounds containing carbon. All other compounds not related to carbon is inorganic chemistry. So kids, when I am asking you, kids, you are studying the arsenic element or the arsenic na compound, is it organic or inorganic chemistry?
Inorganic, sir.
Inorganic. If I am studying the iron na compound, is it organic or inorganic chemistry?
Organic.
Iron.
Inorganic.
Inorganic. If I am studying helium, the helium compound, is it organic or inorganic chemistry?
Inorganic.
Inorganic. But if I'm studying If I'm studying carbon,
Organic, sir.
carbon dioxide,
Organic.
organic.
Organic. Organic.
So kids, ano kinalain ni organic ag inorganic chemistry?
Organic, sir. Like, tapos,
Yes. Kung organic chemistry, studying the compound of carbon, all types of carbon nga compound. Kung inorganic, all other such compounds not related to carbon. So again, kids, our course title is ABGE 211 General and Organic Chemistry. So we will be dealing with the carbon compound and general chemistry, ang tanan nga basic nga topics. So kids, when we are dealing with chemistry, are you expecting numbers, solvings, or wala?
we expected yes, sir.
Oh, mayara gid. Correct ito da.
Expect, sir.
Kids, hapuson ko lang ang ato na general and organic chemistry, but do not expect na wala gid na sa numbers, ha? May ara gid ta na iya, may solvings gid ta na. Pero amo na hindi gid ko maghatag kung budli-budlay gid na siya, or I'll try to make it as easy as possible or maintindihan nyo gid. Okay? So now that we have discussed chemistry, your organic and inorganic chemistry, what other branches do we have to know? Kids, we have so many branches in chemistry that is, so we have analytical chem, physical chem, biochem, clinical chem, forensic chemistry, so on and so forth. So dumdamot na branches, kids. So kung ano lang didya ang tilangnan naton, that is what we have to study in criminology. It's the branch of chemistry that is concerned with with the detection or identification of substances naman present in a sample is called a qualitative analysis, or with the amount of each that is present is called quantitative analysis naman, and ang duwaning analysis, ang qualitative kag quantitative analysis is called your analytical chemistry. So, ano na ginawa ka? Mo sa qualitative or quantitative nga analysis kag nga analytical chemistry. Kids, your analytical chemistry is divided into two. It is divided into your quantitative chemistry and qualitative chemistry. Combined, it is called analytical chemistry. Sir, ano kinalain sa qualitative analysis kag sa quantitative analysis? So kids, you do not need to study ni in depth. But you should know kung ano kinalain sa qualitative kag quantitative analysis when dealing with analytical chemistry. So I will explain. Okay, ang ginahambal din nga qualitative analysis, basahon ko liwat. Qualitative ha, qualitative. It is concerned with the detection or identification of substances present in a sample. Again, it is concerned with the detection or identification of substances present in a sample. Kung ihiligay na siya, kids, it is detecting. Ay, ginabalaan niya ni kids kung may ara or wala sa specific na substance ang ara sa sample mo kung ano man ginapangita mo. I'll give you an example, kids. Sa drug test, kids, you are detecting the presence or absence of your cannabinoids or your marijuana or shabu. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Sa drug test ni. So, kids, when dealing with your drug test, kung magpa-screening test ka, kids, usually sa mga laboratory, ano ang gagwa nga result? Positive kag negative kung screening test, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, basahon taliwat ang iya nga definition. It is concerned with the detection or identification of substances present in a sample. So, kids, naga-detect ko sa presence of or absence of a specific substance in a sample. Ga-detect ko kung
Yes, sir.
yes, correct. Ano ang sample ko, kids, kung for example, drug test na? Ihi. Correct? Your urine. Urine naton. That is our sample. Our sample is urine. We are detecting the presence of a substance. In which case, sa drug test naton, ano gina-detect naton? Your drugs of abuse. Low. Gets ya?
Sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, it's when dealing with
Yes, sir.
detection or identification, kung sa qualitative analysis, gusto lang na mabalaan if positive ka or negative. Another example, if may COVID ka, bunga pandemic na naman COVID. Kids, kung qualitative analysis ang ginapangaya sa aton, ang ginahatag sa inyong result, positive or negative, or if present or absent ang COVID antigen sa aton nga lawas. Another example, hepatitis mo or ag STDs mo. If maghambal ka kids sa imo, for example, ng hospital, nga mapatest ko sa nga, sa dugo ko if I have HIV or if I have hepatitis, makuton ka na nila, sir, ano gusto mo? Ma'am, ano gusto mo? Qualitative or quantitative analysis. Kung maghambal ka kids qualitative analysis, mas barato siya and you will be getting the results not specific but if hindi siya specific kids pero you will identify if positive ka or negative for that sad test. For example, kung HIV test na, positive ka sa HIV or negative. Kung sa hepatitis na, positive ka or negative sa hepatitis. Okay, so far, gets ang qualitative analysis?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, kung maghambal
Yes,
naman
sir.
kita kids, quantitative analysis, basahon ko liwat ha? It is the specific amount of each substance present in a sample. Again, it is the specific amount of each substance present in a sample. So, balik ta sa drug test, kids. Balik ta sa drug test. Okay, sa screening test, sa example, kasi sinyal. Yan. Positive ka sa drug test nga screening test. For example, someone kids bilang drug test analyst. Kung mag-positive sinyal sa drug test, ginapadala ko na sa DOH, tapos ginasend out nila to a confirmatory lab, usually in Manila. Nagpadala na to kids, we are conducting a quantitative test, or sa lahat sa Manila, ang padalaan ko kayo nag-positive sinyal. Pag positive sinyal, ginpadala ang iaihi sa confirmatory laboratory. Sa confirmatory lab kids, they are conducting a quantitative test to know the specific amount of that drug of abuse nga ginkuha ninyel. Nga ara sa ihi ninyel. Paano mo sa mabalan if that is the specific amount? We are dealing with numbers. Thus, it is called quantitative analysis. You have a specific amount. Pila na be, for example, ang shabu nga ara sa ihi ninyel. It is 10.4 milligrams of your cannabinoids that is detected in his sample. Again, you are dealing with numbers. For example, ang COVID naman niya, ang sa COVID nga na, may presence sa COVID nga antigen, pila na ang specific na antigen that is detected in the blood of the patient. Is it 3.5, 3.5, 4.2, basta kids, mag-deal ka mo numbers, it is a quantitative analysis na. But if you are detecting the presence or absence of a specific substance in a sample, it is a qualitative analysis, and thus, those quantitative and qualitative analysis kids makes up your analytical chemistry. Gets?
Yes, sir.
Kung magambal ka kids, positive or negative, presence or absent, is it qualitative or quantitative?
Qualitative, sir.
Qualitative. But if you are dealing with the specific amount of the substance present, we have numbers involved with your kids. Numbers involved and specific amount yung kid. Kung ano gid ang ara sa ihi or sa dugo or any sample nga gina-test natin. Qualitative na or quantitative?
Quantitative, sir.
Quantitative.
Quantitative.
Quantitative. So, get so far? So, kids, paano yun sa mapusli?
Yes, sir.
Sa criminology. Kids, kay balaan nyo na kung anong quantitative kag qualitative. Bisan sa everyday life nyo, magamit nyo. For example, feeling mo may COVID ka. Mangkuton ka bisag imong medtech or sa imong nurse or sa doctor. Ano ni sa ma'am? Sir, quantitative or qualitative ang patesta? Kung ano yung feeling nyo, kids, ang kilangnan nyo, at least gets nyo na kung ano klase test ang pangayoon sa inyo. Kaya diba? So, wala pa rin siya kids. Ang iban siya, hindi pa kabalo kung anong namin nila sa mga hospital ng qualitative, quantitative, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, buong kabalo na kamo. Next, sa inyo sa police. For example, magsulod ka mo kids sa CRIM ka mo, di ba? Pwede ka mo sulod sa PDEA. Correct? So, feeling niyo
Yes,
kids,
sir.
kung kay may idea na kamo sa qualitative and quantitative analysis, may idea na kamo sa mga test na conduct mo sa PDEA? Wala pa. May ara na.
Why?
May ara na kids kay may quantitative and qualitative analysis. Kung wag mo ni maghambal do, hindi na ka wala know-how, wala na may linungungan na gid ka mo, hindi na nga wala gid idea. Correct? So kids, ang
Correct, sir.
specific ang specific din niya kids nga discussion is kung ara na ta sa forensic chemistry in your third year. Kita ay mataga po next year. So kids, amo na siya sa inyong nga qualitative and quantitative. Although wala ka man sa CRIM sang analytical chemistry gid ya, pero kids i-delve man ni naton Japon sa forensic chemistry. So that is why you need to know kung ano ni sila. Kag magamit mo Japon sa everyday life ninyo, especially sa buong nga may COVID pa ta, may pandemic pa. So kids, okay na ta sa analytical chemistry?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next kids, hindi tani sa pagpadayon ang physical chemistry kag biochemistry kids. You need to know lang, in your physical chemistry, it applies the mathematical theories and methods of physics to the properties of matter and to the study of chemical processes and the accompanying energy change. Kung magambar kong physical chemistry, it is physics. Again, it is physics, it is dealing with mathematical theories and the methods of your physics. For example, pila kilangnan ko nga power to get from this distance for our initial distance pakadto sa SM mga muna. So kids, you are studying anong gina-apply mo na mathematical theories when going from one place to another. That is your physical chemistry. You are dealing with the mathematical theories involved. So kilangnan yun no, of course natin kilangnan ang physical chemistry. You only need the basics kung sa inyo na nga ballistics, correct? That point of travel from one point to another by a bullet, for example, at the scene of the crime. So kids, umulan sa physical chemistry, you do not need to go in-depth sa physical chemistry sa criminology. Next, you have your biochemistry. It is the study of the processes of living organisms. Kaya again, bio means
Organism, sir.
no. Bio means bio lang gid ya, bio.
Life.
Life. Correct. Bio means life.
Life, sir.
And
Life.
meaning sang ato niya naman kids sa chemistry
Life,
is
sir.
the study of the processes involved. Again, kids, chemistry natin is the study of the processes involved in that certain type of matter. So, combine mo ba yung bio hanggang chemistry? It is the study of the processes of living organisms. So, goods na to sa biochemistry. Kuha?
Yes, sir.
Kids, review before we go to matter and energy. Kids, when we are studying the compounds of carbon, is it, ano na siya kasi chemistry? Carbon, kids, carbon.
Organic, sir.
Organic chemistry.
Organic, sir.
When we are applying the mathematical theories in modern physics and in the processes, ano siya kasi chemistry?
Physical, sir.
Physical chemistry. When we are studying all other types of compounds not related to carbon, ano na siya? Inorganic chemistry. Kids, what kind of analysis na kung it is dealing with the detection or identification of a substance present in a sample? Qualitative analysis or qualitative chemistry.
Qualitative.
When we are dealing with the specific amount of the substance present in a sample, what is that? Quantitative.
Quantitative.
Correct. When we are dealing with the study of chemistry in the processes of living organisms, biochemistry. Correct. So, mula na kids pala tandaan to sa branches of chemistry nga ilang naton sa criminology. So far, so good, kids. Gets man?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next we have matter and energy. Ay, before we, naka-download na ka mo kids ng PDF yan sa group page na to.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Kung gusto nyo kids mag-advance na magbasa, pwede kids. Ha? Next, we have matter and energy. So again, kids, balaan yun na gid niya kung anong matter halin to isang elementary. Tapos sa high school, hasta pag senior high nyo, may matter gid na. So matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So mula na siya kids kasimple ang matter. Tanan ta nga makaptan, tanan ta nga mainom, tanan ta bisan ginaginhawa tanan. That is matter. Simple as that. So mass na naman kids is a measure of the quantity of matter in a sample of any material. So that is mass. Kung ihiligay na sa kids, measure sa kung ano kabugaton, kung ano kadamo ang isa ka bagay in any material. For example, pila ang mass ang aton nga isa ka sako nga bugas, correct? So it is a measure of the quantity of matter in a sample of any material. Again, ang kabugaton, ang kadamuon sa isa ka bagay. That is your mass. So kids, the more massive an object is, the more force is required to put it in motion. Kids, common sense lang. Kung anong man kabugat ang object, the more force man ang kailangan natin para pahulag ang muna nga object. So kids, kung ay kapel sa matya, kung madala mo ang isa kasakong bugas? No, because? Kids, again, hindi mo siya madala because the more force is required for you to put it in motion. So all bodies natin consist of matter. Our senses of sight and touch already tells us that an object occupies space. In the case of the colorless or odorless accesses such as air, our senses may fail us, pero matter man sila gyapon because ang air naton occupies space. Although hindi na siya naton makita, it occupies space. Therefore, it is matter. So have you noticed kids, ang balloon kids naton kung hindi siya pagpahabukon or butangan sa hangin or your helium, gamay-gamay siya. So why is it nga pagbutang ta sa helium siya may kabugaton na siya nga that was not there before? Because the helium kids occupied the space inside your balloon and expanded. Kids ay bugat gid yang aton air, therefore it is still matter. Again, tanan nga nag-occupy sa space and has mass. Kids, okay ta sa mass naton and matter?
Yes, sir.
Klaro pa man.
Klaro, sir.
Yeah. Next, you have energy. Energy naman, kids, is defined as the capacity to do work or to transfer heat. Again, energy naton is defined as the capacity to do work or to transfer heat. Have you noticed, kids? Kung maghulag, kita nyo na sa mga science experiments, ang hamster kids nga nagahulag, may wiring. Ang nagahulag sa isa nakabilog. Ano ba ito? Isang bilog na siya kids nga ginahulagan niya. Tapos may wiring kids nga gapakadto sa suga. Gasiga ang suga. Kids, because it is producing ang hamster nga na, for example, or ang daga. Because energy, kids, is defined as the capacity to do work or to transfer heat. So we are familiar, kids, with the many forms of energy. Kids, you have mechanical energy through our salakyan, mga modes of transportation. Kids, they are using mechanical energy. We have light energy, kids. Light energy coming from the light or the sun. Electrical energy, kids, coming from our power plants. And heat energy coming from our fire. So light energy, kids, from the sun is used by plants as they grow. Electrical energy allows us to light a room by flicking a switch, and heat energy cooks our foods and warms our homes. Okay, it's common sense, di ba? Energy can be classified into two principal types. Diri ka matanda, kids. Energy can be classified into two principal types. You have your kinetic energy and potential energy. So a body in motion, kids, such as a rolling boulder, possesses energy because of its motion. Therefore, it is called kinetic energy. Kids, tanan nga gahulag nga energy. A body in motion, kids, such as a rolling boulder, has kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. Again, kids, balik ta sa hamster tang galibot. Kids, may wiring dahil sa suga. Kids nga man nagasiga ang suga due to kinetic energy. Kaya may body in motion nga nagaproduce ang energy. Kita niya kids, bisan sa cartoons or sa mga science fairs, nakakadto ka man, di ba? Or bisan sa TV, sa YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Ang gahulag-hulag na bala kids nga daga or hamster. Ano kaya tawag na isang dubilog nga ginadalaganan niya?
Balay-balay, guro nila, sir.
Sa balay-balay na kung butangan mo sa wiring, have you noticed kids nga produce sa kuryente? Kita niyo na, di ba? Kung butangan ta wiring, tapos idiritso ta sa suga, kung maghulag-hulag ang daga, nagasiga ang kuryente because kids, a body in motion produces energy. Correct? And that is your kinetic energy, kids. Kung gahulag, for example, ang rolling boulder na nag-produce na sang energy, depende kung anong energy, to, ang amo na siyang motion, kids, can produce your kinetic energy. Because kinetic energy represents the capacity to do work directly. It is easily transferable between objects. Next, you have potential energy naman, kids. Potential energy is the energy an object possesses because of its position or condition and composition. For example, ang coal natin possesses chemical energy, a form of potential energy because of its composition. Kids, kung iligay nun kung potential energy naman natin, because of its composition or sa sulod sang lawas mismo, kids, energy na gid siya. For example, the main example, kids, I can give you is ang uling naton, kids. Ang uling naton, kung sinugon ta, what does it produce?
Fire, sir.
Fire. Fire is heat energy, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, ang uling, kids, is it potential or kinetic energy?
Potential.
Potential energy. Because of its composition, kids mismo, energy na gid siya. Sa sulod sang lawas, ang pag-ubra pa lang sa iya, energy na gid siya. Therefore, amo naman na siya ang potential energy. So, we have two principal types of energies, kids. Ano to gani ang two principal types of energies na to?
Kinetic and potential.
Kinetic
Energy and potential energy.
Correct. Kids, magkambay ka mo, kids. It is an energy because of its position, condition, and composition. Is it kinetic or potential energy?
Potential.
Potential.
Energy.
But if it produces energy because of its motion or a body in motion,
Kinetic energy.
kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy.
Correct. Tapos na, di ba? Next. We discuss energy because all chemical processes are accompanied by energy changes as some processes occur. Energy is released to the surroundings, usually as heat energy. We call those such processes as exothermic. Take note. Exothermic. So any combustion or burning reaction is exothermic. Some chemical reactions and physical changes. So before ko na explain, kids, let us go into your endothermic naman. Endothermic, that is, they absorb energy from their surroundings. An example of a physical change that is endothermic is the melting of ice. So what do you, sir, ano na sir kung exothermic and endothermic? Maghambal ka mo, kids, exothermic, take note of the keyword. Energy is released to its surroundings. Energy is released. Balik, maghambal ka mo, kids, release ang energy na pagwaiya to its surroundings. Another keyword basta exothermic, kids. Any combustion or burning reaction is exothermic. So, the best example I can give you, kids, for example, sa CRIM. When you are throwing a grenade, kids, nag-release ka or nag-absorb energy? Grenade, granada. Nag-release ka. So, yes. Kung mag-release ka sang energy, kids, through the bomb or the grenade, does it produce a combustion or burning effect?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Basta may combustion or burning, ano na siya? Heat, energy,
Exothermic.
exothermic, correct. You are producing heat energy, syempre ganun kakalayo siya, di ba? You are releasing energy to your surroundings. You produce combustion usually as heat energy. Therefore, that reaction is exothermic. Exothermic, correct? Ga-release kaya energy to your surroundings. Kung magambal naman tiya kids sa endothermic, ano naman yung answer ng endothermic? Mga kadamo niya. Kids, kung endothermic, they absorb energy from their surroundings. An example of this, kids, ang tubig, ibutang ko siya, kids, in low temperature. So, nga ko mo, kids, low temperature, di ba? Lamig. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
O, ibutang ko siya, kids, sa sulod sang freezer, ang tubig. Kids, feeling mo ano gina-absorb sa akong tubig sa freezer? Ang
Low temperature, sir.
ang low temperature. Correct. When absorbing, kids, sa low temperature sa atong yung freezer, ang tubig na to nagiging
Ice, sir.
ice. Pero ang ice ka na, is it still water? Yes or no? Yes.
No, sir.
Still water.
Yes.
Water.
Tubig yapon, di ba? Kaya kids, ang composition
Tubig
niya
yapon, sir.
Oo.
Kaya same yapon.
Composition niya is still duwa ka hydrogen kag
Water.
isa ka oxygen. Water man siya gyapon. Kids, but anong kinalain niya kay nag-isa? Because it absorbs energy from its surroundings. Correct? Therefore, it is ano siya kasi reaction?
Endothermic.
Endothermic. O kids, ano niya siya, kids, kung for example naman. Kids, nagpabukal ko sang tubig. Nag-produce siya sang steam. Is it exothermic or endothermic? Ang tubig, gin-expose ko sa init nga kalayo. Sa tubig, to focus na sa tubig. Is it exothermic or endothermic? Nag-init ko tubig. Endothermic because nag-absorb ko sa from it.
Energy from
Yes. Nag-produce ko tuod sang steam, pero ang steam nga nag-steam siya kaya nag-absorb siya sa heat energy from its surroundings. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, gets yun, okay? Kung exothermic naman, ano naman sa exothermic? Kung mabihatag sa one example sa exothermic, releasing of energy to its surroundings. Isa lang. Bisa na lang, kids. Discussion man lang. Kids, any combustion or releasing of energy sa surroundings. Exothermic ba? Example? Ano, Mark?
Volcanic eruption, sir.
Oh, volcanic eruption, kids, is considered exothermic energy. Magpalupok ka pusil. Correct? Nakadumdam sa example. Exothermic man na. Okay, pagpalupok mo, you are producing or releasing energy. Kasi sa gunpowder mo, may gina-produce kada nga spark. Correct? So, therefore, you release energy that is exothermic. So, kids, tapos na ta sa exothermic kag endothermic. Again, what are the two principal types of energies before we proceed?
Kinetic and potential energy.
Yes.
Kinetic and potential energy.
What is this reaction when it absorbs energy from its surroundings? Absorb. Endothermic.
Endothermic.
When you release naman energy to your surroundings, usually as heat energy. Exothermic.
Exothermic.
Okay, proceed ka. Diba? Hapos lang ang chem. Kids, the law of conservation naman of matter. Before I read the statement, kids, example gali rather. So the law of conservation of matter, let us read the statement before the example. Kids, kita ko again, there is no observable change in the quantity of matter during a chemical reaction or during a physical change. There is no observable change in the quantity of matter during a chemical reaction or during a physical change. So what does it mean, kids? Magamba ka, there is no observable change in the quantity of matter sa kadamuon sa matter during a chemical reaction or during a physical change. Okay, next, basahan tayo ng example. When we burn a sample of metallic magnesium and oxygen, the magnesium combines with the oxygen to form your magnesium oxide. Nag-combine si magnesium natin nga element kay oxygen to form your magnesium oxide, a white powder. So this chemical reaction is accompanied by the release of large amounts of heat energy and light energy. So when we weigh the product of the reaction, the magnesium oxide, we find that it is heavier than the original piece of magnesium. The increase in the mass of a solid is due to the combination of oxygen with magnesium to form your magnesium oxide. So many experiments have shown that the mass of magnesium oxide is exactly the sum of magnesium and oxygen that is combined to form it. Similar, the statements can be made for all chemical reactions. These observations are summarized in the law of conservation of matter that again, the statement is there is no observable change in the quantity of matter during a chemical reaction or during a physical change. May naintindihan ka mo?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, gamay lang. Damo man. Explain ko danay ha para mag-gets ang law of conservation of matter. So kids, isa-isa unta. Si magnesium naton, again, is an element in our periodic table, magnesium. Nag-combine sa, ano gani? Oxygen to form your magnesium oxide. Kids, sa magnesium oxide na ni, may chemical reaction nga nag-accompany siya, releasing an amount of heat energy and light energy. So kids, ginweigh nila kung gin kilo nila, for example. Yung kilo nila, ang product nga magnesium oxide, din compare nila sa original piece of magnesium. Mas bugat kuno kids si mas bugat si magnesium oxide kaysa kay magnesium lang gid. Why do you think kids mas bugat si magnesium oxide kay magnesium alone?
Kaya nagpa na sir na may chemical reaction na sir nga natabo
Hindi.
or may combination.
Yes. May combination sa isang oxygen. Of course, mas bugat si magnesium oxide kay magnesium kaya nag-combine si oxygen. Do you think kids ang oxygen wala sang kabugaton na may ara? Kaya again, oxygen kids gani or ang aton air na lang natin for example. Does it occupy space or wala?
It occupies space.
Yes.
Yeah, sir.
So therefore kung nag-occupy sa space may kabugaton siya wala.
Mera.
Mera.
May bugat, sir.
So kids natural mas bugat si magnesium oxide kaysa kay magnesium alone, correct?
Yes sir.
Yes, therefore kids basahon natin ni what ang aton nga statement. So kids wala gid kinalain sa observable change in the quantity of matter during a chemical reaction or a physical change. Kung ano kids ang kabug-aton ni magnesium kag ni oxygen before their combination and after their combination, moment na siya gyapon. Kids again, si magnesium before siya combine kay oxygen, ang kabug-aton niya, for example, 5 na be. 5 ang kabug-aton ni magnesium, 5 kilograms, tapos baw kilograms. Ano lang, grams na lang kids or milligrams. Si magnesium 5 mg, si oxygen natin is 0.1 mg, 5.1 siya tanan, sang nag-combine sa kay magnesium oxide. Correct? 5.1?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Si magnesium niya kids, ang kabug-aton niya is 5 lang gid, di ba? 5 mg. So kids, sino mas bugat? Magnesium oxide or si magnesium?
Magnesium
Magnesium
oxide.
oxide.
Magnesium oxide. Pero kung i-separate ko through a chemical change naman si magnesium oxide, yun separate ko sila ni oxygen. Magnesium sa magnesium. Ang kabugaton ni magnesium, kids, 5 na lang. Compare mo sa original piece ng magnesium man nga 5, ako man siya gyapon. Tapos ang oxygen to ya, 0.1 na gito siya. Therefore, kids, again, the statement, wala gid ya observable change in the quantity magambay ka sa kadamuon sang matter when you have a chemical reaction or during a physical change. Kids, kung ano na siya before ya pag-combine, amo man na siya gyapon after ya combine. Bali, nag-produce lang siya lain nga appearance. Pero kids, ang iya kabug-aton or its quantity is still the same, and that is the law of conservation of matter. Okay, so pag-combine ni magnesium oxygen to form your magnesium oxide. Aside sa iyang appearance kag sa iyang nga chemicals, ang iya quantity nagdamo, nagamay, or muman Japon. Quantity ang kadamuon niya.
Amuman Japon.
Muman Japon, and that is the law of conservation of matter. Bisan ano pa na sila kids ka combine ang duwan, for examples sa water. You have water, its composition is H2O, correct?
Yes, sir.
So water nga na kids, kung i-separate mo na ang duwa ka hydrogen kag isa ka oxygen, kids mo man Japon niya kadamuon. Pag combine mo siya, ang duwa ka hydrogen is still duwa ka hydrogen. Ang isa ka oxygen is still one oxygen. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And that is the law of conservation of matter. Wala gid kinalain sa quantity of matter during a chemical reaction or during a physical change. Only that it is combined. Gets na? Law of conservation of matter.
Yes, sir.
Proceed naman ta. Next, the law of
Yes, sir.
conservation of energy. Okay, it's the law of conservation of energy naman naton. Before basaw naman ang example, let us read the statement in your conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction or in a physical change. It can only be converted from one form to another. So kids, okay na ta siya statement. Let us read the example. In exothermic chemical reactions, chemical energy is usually converted into heat energy. Some exothermic processes involve other kinds of energy changes. For example, some liberate light energy without heat, and others produce electrical energy without heat or light. In endothermic reactions, kids, heat energy, light energy, or electrical energy is converted to chemical energy. Although chemical changes always involve energy changes, some energy transformations do not involve chemical changes at all. For example, heat energy may be converted into electrical energy or into mechanical energy without simultaneous chemical changes. Many experiments have demonstrated that all energy involved in any chemical or physical change appears in some form after the change. These observations are summarized in the law of conservation of energy. Again, which states energy cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction or in a physical change. It can only be converted from one form to another. Okay, it's the law of conservation of energy naman explain natin or in the kids, ang ginahambal di kids, ang energy ko no hindi naton maobra. We can only convert one type of energy into another type of energy. So if nagamuhan ka mo kids para hapos na lang kagdasig sa aton mag-inchindi. An example of this is your solar panel. Nakakita na ka mga solar panel kids?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ang ginabutang na balas mga atops ang balay, for example. Kids, when you have a solar panel, ga-absorb ka sa energy, correct? What energy are you absorbing?
Light energy, sir.
Light energy ni mo, gina-convert mo dahil into
Light energy, sir.
electrical. Gina-convert mo siya into anong energy?
Power, sir.
Electrical
Provide energy.
Yes, electrical
Electrical.
energy. Kids ka ginagamit na siya as kuryente sa atong mga panimalay, correct? Hello, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, kids, nag-obrat energy, wala sa solar panel.
Ano, sir?
Nag-obrat energy or nag-convert lang?
Nag-convert
Nag-convert.
naman.
Yes,
Convert
nag-convert
sa sun,
siya.
sir.
Pero
True sun.
do you think maka-obrata? We cannot create energy or makaguba sa energy. We can only convert one form of energy into another, and that is the law of conservation of it. We cannot again create energy or destroy energy. We can only convert one type of energy into another type of energy. Umalagid na siya kasi kids ang law of conservation of energy natin. O clear na ta or other examples? Forget.
Kung na, sir, same lang sa sir.
Sige na siya.
Sa pag, sir, sa pag-reverse ang, sa ceiling fan.
Yes.
Na-create na sa energy, sir.
Oo, na-create mo na siya energy. For example, ang windmills natin sa mga power plants natin. Kids, you are converting the wind energy from your windmills into electrical.
Mag-reverse, sir.
Yes, mag-reverse siya. You are reverse engineering the windmills through kinetic naton nga energy, di ba? Nagaproduce siya sang power that is converted into electrical energy sa mga power plants tapos gina-supply sa mga tao. Kids, that is another example of your law of conservation of energy. Gets? You cannot create
Yes,
or
sir.
destroy energy. You can only convert one form of energy into another. Malagi na siya kasimple, kids. For example, ang aton nga gasol. Kids, we are converting your potential energy sa gas naton into heat energy. Magpakalayo ka ba? Pandar ka. Correct? Gets na? So again, kung mag-law of conservation of matter kita, kids, mag-combine ka for example in a chemical or physical change, ang kadamuon dugang gabuhin or amuman Japon.
Amuman gyapon, sir.
Amuman Japon.
Yes.
Wala, may galain. For example, ang aton nga tubig, ginbutang ta sa freezer, again, pagbutang ta sa freezer, kids, nagdamo ang tubig or amuman sa Japon pag ice ya.
Amuman Japon,
Amuman
sir.
Japon. In the law of conservation of energy naman, kids, can we create or destroy energy?
No.
No. We can only convert
Convert.
from
Convert
one form of energy into
to
another.
one type.
So now we have the states of matter. Dasigon ko lang ni our in-depth agad. Gets nyo naman siguro, kaya lito naman sa elementary ta. Dasigon ko lang. Okay lang sa inyo?
Okay na guro, sir?
Okay na na.
Sige, sir.
Sigon ta. Okay, gets nyo naman di ba? Ano ganang 3 types of matter na ton?
Solid, liquid, gas.
Solid liquid gas.
Okay. So solid na ton, kids, it is rigid and have definite shape, correct?
Yes, sir.
Bisan initon mo ni siya,
Yeah.
changes or palamigon, ang bato naton, kids, bato gyapon because volumes of solids do not vary much with changes in temperature and pressure. Kaya again, kids, they have definite shape. That is a solid. Bisan initon mo na siya, palamigon, ang bato ginaya. Next, you have liquid naman, kids. Liquid's individual particles are confined to a given volume, kids. It assumes the shape of its container, kids, and that is a liquid and they are very hard to compress. And kids, kung gas naman, they are much less dense than liquids. They occupy all space of a vessel in which they are confined and they are capable of infinite expansion. And hapos sila ang compress unlike sa liquid natin that are very hard to compress. So again, kung mag-solid, kids, ano gani? They are, hindi mo tantan lang ko. First and foremost, kung maghambay ka, kids, rigid and have definite shape. Solid, liquid, or gas?
Solid, sir.
Solid.
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 Kung maghambay, kids, they are very hard to compress. Solid,
Liquid.
Liquid. They are capable of infinite expansion.
Gas.
Gas. Tapos they assume the space of any container that they are given. Assume sila shape.
Liquid.
Gas.
Kids, they are compressed
Liquid.
very easily. Check to, liquid to. They are compressed very easily. Ano naman siya, kids?
Gas, sir.
Gas.
Solid.
Gas. Basta gani, kids, compressed very easily. Gas na siya. Di ba ginabutang ka sa gani kung mga diin-diin? That is a gas. So again, the 3 states of matter are your solid, liquid, and gas. And lastly, we have your chemical and physical properties, kids. Tapos ni mixtures na lang, tapos na ta. Kids, chemical properties are exhibited by matter as it undergoes in composition. These properties of substances related to the kinds of chemical changes that the substances undergo. For instance, we have already described the combinations ng inyong Metallic magnesium with gaseous oxygen, ng ano ganyan inform niya? Magnesium oxide, ang white powder to kagina. A chemical property of magnesium is that it can combine with oxygen, releasing energy in the process. A chemical property of oxygen is that it can combine with magnesium. Amo na siya kids ang chemical property. Again, a chemical property naton is exhibited by matter as it undergoes changes in its composition. Kids, do you think pag combine ni metallic magnesium kay oxygen, nag-exhibit sa chemical properties? Yes. Kaya pag combine niya kids, naging ano siya gani, naging white powder na ang magnesium naton pag combine niya kay oxygen to form your magnesium oxide. Through its chemical bondings, kids, pag combine niya, nag-form sa isang white powder, therefore it has chemical properties. Malagay na siya kasimple. And all substances naman niya kids na also exhibit physical properties because it can be observed in the absence of any change in its composition. Its color, its density, its hardness and melting point, boiling point, and electrical and thermal conductivities are all physical properties. And properties of a substance depends on the condition, such as temperature and pressure under which they are measured. For instance, water is solid in ice at low temperatures and is liquid at higher temperatures. At still higher temperatures na tangga-init, it is gas or steam. As water is converted from one state to another, its composition is constant. Kids, i-explain ko sa inyo ni Dasig lang. Gets yun naman, di ba, ang chemical and physical properties? When it undergoes chemical changes, kids, it exhibits chemical properties. For example, ang magnesium, pag combine niya kay oxygen, exhibiting chemical bondings. Therefore, nag-form ng white powder that is now, pag combine niya, naging magnesium oxide. Chemical or physical change? Or property?
Chemical.
Chemical.
Property.
Chemical.
Pero pag pabukay mo kids ang tubig is tubig Japon. But ang tubig na naging steam, nag-aso. Correct? Is it a physical or chemical change?
Physical.
Because ang iyang composition is still water, correct? Ang water naton,
Yes.
pagpabukal ta water gyapon, pero anong naglain siyang physical property, correct? Because ang aton na tubig nga liquid naging gas nga steam. So klaro ta sa chemical and physical properties.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll give you this example na lang before ta kamo identify. Kids, when ang carbon na combine ko sa duwa ka oxygen to form your carbon dioxide, is it a chemical or physical property?
Chemical, sir.
Chemical property. Kids, kung sa physical property naman nato. Kids, ang ako naman nga tubigin butang ko sa freezer. Is it a chemical or physical property pag transform niya into ice?
Physical property.
Physical, sir.
Physical property.
Correct. So, muna kids, gets yun na kung paano mag-identify sa chemical and physical properties. Kung chemical, naglaing dyan mismo ang composition ng sulod jagit. Kung physical, makita mo lang siya in the absence of any change in its composition. Therefore, nag-ice lang siya. Nagtiga, naghumok, nagbukal, naglain niya color. That is a physical property. Kaya mo man Japon ang iyang composition. Next, you have your chemical and physical changes. Kids, this reaction is a chemical change when it has one of these three statements or these three statements in general. Kung magamba ka chemical change, one or more substances are used up or at least partially. Number 2, one or more new substances are formed. And number 3, energy is absorbed or released to its surroundings. Kids, that is a chemical change. One or more new substances are used up. One or more new substances are formed. Example sa statement number 1 kag 2 ta. Pag combine ni carbon na kon sa duha ka oxygen to form carbon dioxide, nag-combine sila, nag-use up ang isa ka substance at least partially to combine your two substances. Pero ang quantity of woman Japon. And next, the energy, for example, heat energy, taging gamit to form carbon dioxide, gin-absorb ya or gin-release ya into its surrounding. And that is a chemical change. Ang physical change naman, kids, on the other hand, occur with no change in chemical composition. Again, wala may kinalain siya nga chemical composition. Nagtiga lang siya, naghumok, naglain yung niya color, nagtaas siya temperature, naglamig siya. That is a physical change. Physical properties are usually altered significantly as matter undergoes physical change. So, the same man sa Japon, kids, ang concept yan sa physical and chemical properties. Correct? Klaro kids? Kay last na lang to dahil sa mixtures na ta. And we are done.
Okay na sila.
Okay na, sir.
Sir,
Next, kids, we have mixtures. Mixtures are combinations of two or more pure substances in which each substance retains its own composition and properties. Kids, before we discuss mixtures, anong pure substances, kids, as you can remember sa high school natin kay senior high?
Sulyot and solvent, sir.
Hindi.
Pure substance, sir.
Pure substance. Anong pure substance? Kids, kambala mo kong hirit, ha?
ano gani, sir?
Remind na lang. Kids, ang pure substance, kids, they are elements that are found in the periodic table. Why are they called pure substances? Because, kids, they cannot be broken down into a simpler form. Again, ang pure substances, din ta makita, periodic table of elements. Because the pure substances are considered your elements. Why? They cannot be broken down into simpler substances. So, kids naman din tawag din sila nga pure substances. Because, kids, ang tubig natin, maguba, tapay, hindi. Pwede pa sila ma-separate. Pwede pa. Because ang ato nga tubig, again, is it contains duwa ka bilog nga hydrogen kag isa ka oxygen. But kids,
Oxygen.
magambay ka pure substances, hindi na sila kids maguba into simpler substances. Ang oxygen maguba ta pa para to form a separate substance?
Hindi na, sir.
Hindi na. Ang aton nitrogen, ang hydrogen naton, ang aton iron, ang aton arsenic, or silver, al gold. Maguba ta pa?
Hindi, sir.
Hindi na.
Hindi na, sir.
That is why they are called pure substances kay hindi mo na gid sila maguba. Paguba mo sang gold, gold din ang gyapon. Paguba mo sa oxygen, oxygen din sa gyapon. That is why they are called pure substances. So kids, ang tubig is considered a mixture. Why?
Mixture. Kay duwa, sir, kapag sir
Ay,
nagkumpay
next
na,
choice
sir.
ng hydrogen ka oxygen.
Yes, correct kids. Very good. Because they are a combination of two or more pure substances. Therefore, it is a mixture ang aton water. Your carbon dioxide, mixture sa hindi.
Kwan, sir, ng mixture man, sir,
Mixture.
kay, di ba, sir, kwan?
Your
Carbon
magnesium
ka-
oxide, mixture hindi.
Mixtures.
Mixture. Kids, your arsenic, mixture sa hindi. Arsenic,
Hindi, sir.
hindi. Because it is a pure,
Pure substance.
yes, it's pure substance or it is an element. So kids, our periodic table of elements consists of 116 so far. Hindi, 119 na kids na double tatlo. Since 2017, may tatlo sila kabagtak pa. May 119 pure substances na or 119 elements na ang ara sa periodic table na. Kids, I am not expecting you to memorize all of those elements. Hindi ko ginapag-memorize yun kung isa-isaon ko, palawagon. Ang importante lang, again, ang ganang box orientation ka, you need to familiarize yourself with the common elements nga gamiton natin. Okay? Next, kids, we have your heterogeneous mixtures and homogeneous mixtures. Tapos na tadayon. You have your heterogeneous mixtures. Take note, kids. The most easily recognizable type of mixture is one with different portions of the sample that have recognizably different properties. Such a mature watch is not which is not uniform throughout is called your Heterogeneous mixture. Why? Because kids, for example, this mixture is a mix of both solid kag liquid. Uniform siya hindi. Solid kag liquid. For example, ginmix mo. Uniform siya hindi.
Hindi, sir.
Hindi. Kaya in order for it to be uniform, kids, ang ating nga mixture, it needs to be of the same property. Kung solid siya, ang yung combination solid lang. Uniform siya hindi.
Uniform.
Uniform. Therefore, kung uniform na siya, kids, it is a homogeneous mixture. So, kids, how do you know if it is heterogeneous or homogeneous? Kids, an example of this is your foggy air, which includes a suspended mist of water droplets kag imong nga vegetable soup. Ang liquid naton, kids, ang water droplet naton, vegetable soup naton is your solid substance. Therefore, kaya hindi siya gani uniform. Again, what type of mixture is that?
Heterogeneous.
Heterogeneous mixtures. Next, we discussed naman homogeneous mixtures, kids. I gets yun ang hetero. It is not uniform throughout. It can be maka-distinguish kagid ya kids sing kinalain niya sang isa kag isa. Therefore, it is a homogeneous mixture. Kung magambay ka naman, kids, another kind of mixture that has uniform properties throughout is called your homogeneous mixture. Another name for your homogeneous mixture, kids, is called a solution. Kids, homogeneous mixtures of metals, for example, is solid state and air, are free of particulates, matter, or mist. Air is a mixture of your gases naman. Gases naton, pure gases lang. It is mainly nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and water. Have you noticed these are all gases? Therefore, it is a homogeneous mixture. Because it is, again, uniform throughout. Ang properties niya, uniform throughout. So, kids, that will be all for our mixtures of substances, compounds, and elements. Okay, kids, when I'm asking you, again, review na lang. So, mixtures natin and homogeneous mixtures. When it is not uniform throughout, ano na siya kasi mixture?
Heterogeneous.
When it is uniform throughout,
Homogeneous.
homogeneous mixture. Kids, ang foggy air is an example of your
Uniform properties.
hindi. Foggy
Ano,
air.
sir?
Foggy.
Heterogeneous.
Heterogeneous mixture. It's a combination of two or more pure substances.
Homogeneous.
Two or more pure substances, kids. Ano na siya tawag?
Heterogeneous. Mixture of two
Mixture.
or more.
Mixture lang, kids.
Oh,
Kids, next. These substances cannot be broken down into simpler form.
Pure substance.
Pure substance. And if this mixture is uniform throughout, ano na siya?
Homogeneous, sir.
Homogeneous
Homogeneous.
mixtures. Kids, review na lang sa aton nga whole topic for dasig lang. Mga pila lang ka questions. Para tandaan nyo pa. Kids, this type of chemistry studies all types of compounds related to carbon.
Organic.
Chemistry. So this type naman of chemistry, kids, is divided into qualitative and quantitative analysis. Analytical chemistry. Kids, this type of chemistry studies all types of compounds not related to carbon.
Inorganic chemistry.
This law states that any type of energy cannot be destroyed nor created. It can only be converted from one form into another. What law is this?
Conservation of
Conservation of energy.
conversion of
energy.
Yes, correct. Law of
Energy.
conservation of energy. Correct. Very good, kids. Tapos, last two questions na lang. Kids, kids, ang two principal types of energies.
Kinetic and potential.
Kinetic. Very good, very good. And lastly, kids, if this type of reaction is released to its surroundings, Commonly through combustion,
Exothermic.
exothermic. So very good kids, tandaan nyo din.
Exothermic.
Guys, that will be all for our module 1. Tapos ang kaya?
Kira mabudlay sir ang module.
Pabudlay ang?
Ang masunod na module, sir.
Hindi, hapos yan.
Sir, ang sa module na sir, ang naaari sir nagamit na
Ano?
simunisan sir sa FB page.
Ano yan?
Ang inibilang module.
Ara.
Ang inibilang module sir, kay di pa may pakita sa
Ara siya.
nasid mo ni sa ano?
Oo, ara
FB.
sa page, ang module 1, ang ini. Ara ng tanan sa...
Pero ang nakabato bala sir, ang doang module to man sir.
Oo.
Tapos module 3 o chapter 2. Para na.
Ara tanan.
Tanan.
Tapos after tas ang
Kaya ako
klase,
pinakita ko dito.
isend ko man ni sa inyo kids ang video. Sige na record ko na, convert ko na lang siya to playable form. Kagisan ko man sa inyo sa group chat. Para kung sa mga wala katen or gusto niyo bilaliwatan ng klase ta. Pwede nyo man tanawon liwat.